right, 12th graders. First of all, thank you all for the attention that you gave Principal Tyler. Please afford me the same attention. I will try to go through this information as quickly as possible. It's been taking us pretty much the whole period, but we'll see. If we get done early enough, we'll go back to class, but it'll probably take us the whole time. So I appreciate the attention that you're going to give, because this is stuff that you really need to know. Like, there's a few changes in here that are important for you to know. Also, just because I have 12th graders in here, and we're recording this for anybody that's not here, just a reminder that we will have our next senior graduation kind of meeting at the end of the month, where we'll talk about just the timeline for graduation. I still have about 100 of you or so that haven't ordered a cap and gown, and so I'll give more information about that. We're not going to cover any of that stuff right now. This is just more of North specific things, but at the end of the month, we'll talk about that. We'll also do questions at the very end. We'll have time for questions, I know for sure. But you already heard from Principal Tyler. We're going to do just a few reminders about systems that we have at North, talk about the things that we're already doing well, and then a few new things for second semester. We have a new entrance that we've spent a lot of time. Principal Tyler's talked to a lot of people in order to get that entrance put in. The reason that she spent all that time and effort and money into getting that in is so that you have the safest school possible. When your family drops you off at school every day or sends you out the door, their number one priority is that you come home that night safe and sound. Yes, they want you to learn. Yes, they want you to graduate. Yes, they want you to make friends. But more importantly, they want you to be safe. And that's why we put all the effort that we put in. Sometimes we're a little bit extra about things, but that is because we want you all to leave North every single day safe and sound. So one of the things that we've changed here is that you will be required to have your ID, especially if you are coming in late. Like if you get here late and need to get a pass from Mr. Wilson or Miss Ty or whatever, you will be expected to have your ID. If you don't have your ID, we're going to talk about how you get one. But that is just another thing that we are going to put in place to make sure that we have the right people in the building. There have been a few times this year that we've had students from another high school show up, and usually that is because they want to cause problems, right? Just like we all don't want you guys going to East or Roosevelt or whatever during the day, we don't want those students over here. And so we need to really make sure that we have the right people in place, okay? And so just know that yes, it might be a little bit of a hassle, but it's only to keep you safe. And the other thing is, having an ID is just something you need to do when you become an adult. Many of you probably work already. Some of you will be working soon. It's really important that you have a driver's license or an ID wherever you're at, just in case that you have it. So we want you to get in that habit of always having your identification. Some of you keep it in the back of your cell phone, or if you have a wallet or a purse or whatever. You don't have to have it on a lanyard. We can give you a lanyard for that, or you can put it on your backpack, but we do need you to have it with you at all times. If you don't have your ID, if you never picked it up at the beginning of the year, we probably still have it in the main office. If you got it but lost it, we can reprint an ID for you. There is a cost of $5. You don't have to bring $5 with you or anything like that. Ms. Rondo will just put it on your Infinite Campus account. But we do need you to have an ID, okay? I'll probably send out something on Teams just to let you know, if you don't have your ID, this is what you should do, because we don't want you just bombarding Ms. Rhonda. But make sure if you don't have an ID or if you never got one, we'll come up with a plan next week for you to get one. Also, I know none of you, or very few of you, are assigned directed study. But if you have release and you normally come to the auditorium, it will be really important for you to have your ID as well. Mr. Scott has a tough job of making sure that, sometimes we have 80, 90 students in directed study or release. It's hard for him to know for sure who's supposed to be in here. So what we are going to do for second semester is on your ID, you are going to get a sticker that says, all right, I have release 8th period. So that way, Mr. Scott knows that you are okay to be in the auditorium during 8th period. We prefer to have you just leave the building and be about your day, but if you are in an activity or you can't leave, that way you're able to show Mr. Scott really easily, I'm supposed to be in here right now. Once again, this is probably more of an issue for our 9th and 10th graders, but we just want you to know in case you need to use this space for release. Our attendance data. We've been sharing this a decent amount this year because we're really proud of it. North is highlighted there. We have the best attendance of any high school in DMPS. That's awesome. Yeah, keep it up. Last year our attendance was 79%. This year it's 83.6. We still have a long way to go. Okay, we would love for that to be above 90. Like, that's the goal. That's why all those numbers are red, is because it's still not meeting our goal. Like, our goal would be 90% or above, then that number would be green. And we're going to talk a little bit about attendance coming up, but just know that, number one, we're proud of you for making those gains, but we need to keep pushing. This is kind of, we're easing into this and getting better. For the most part, we're doing a really good job of remembering that there is a law in place that you cannot have your cell phone or iPad or whatever out in class, because we want you engaged in what's happening there. Like I said, most of the time, it's actually, we probably get like less than 20 calls about phones anymore per day. But I imagine at the beginning of second semester, especially if you have a new class, that this might be a good reminder for you. Just know that if you have something out, your teacher is going to let our radio team know. We're going to come up and just ask for that. You'll get it back at the end of the day. If you choose not to turn it over, you'll have to leave for the day. And then we'll have to set up a meeting with your family to just talk about a plan. But the goal is so that you're able to be more focused on class. Earlier this week, we had people from the Department of Education. We had like Principal Tyler's boss here, and we visited classrooms, about 20 classrooms, and there wasn't a single issue with cell phones in any of those classes. We had a couple students that were maybe like not paying attention to what was going on, but nobody was just sitting there on their phone. I hope that you start to feel better about not needing to see your phone every single minute. I hope that you are being more engaged and paying more attention to what's going on in class, but this is just a reminder for you. It's really important for you to be in your class as much as possible. That's why we talk about tardies. Your classes are only 44 minutes long. Ms. Nihanovich's English 4 class has a lot of content to cover throughout the year, and she needs all 44 minutes of that every single day. And so when you're coming in a couple minutes late every day, that's taking away from your opportunity to pass that class and graduate on time. It's also when because one of the things that we saw when we were visiting classrooms too, is that in a lot of classes, the last like 2 or 3 minutes, sometimes maybe a little bit more, we start packing up our stuff and start lining up at the door. We need every single minute that we have in there. So we can't be getting ready, putting things away when we still have 3, 4, 5 minutes of class left. You have so much to learn, it's really important. I hope that this isn't an issue for many of you as 12th graders, but just know, especially as we go into second semester and you might be changing classes, your teachers are going to teach you their expectations. They're going to teach you their routines and procedures. I need you to do your best to be that leader, especially in those elective classes where you might have 9th, 10th, and 11th graders in there. Those teachers should be able to trust you to be the leaders to show this is what it means to be a student at North and do what I'm supposed to do. Along with that, just make sure I think especially for like classes that use computers, like probably Ms. Nahanovich's class where you might be writing something, it's really important for you to have your computer every day. It's even better if you have it charged every day. So those are just like future skills that are good for seniors or good for adults to know. Like I know that I have to bring my computer to work every day. I know that it also is really helpful if it's charged every day, so then I'm not tied to an outlet. So that's practice for you as you get a job later in life. The next couple slides are just reminders about our expectations. You see those posters up around the school. Just remember, we want to take pride in North. I hope that you want to go to a school that has clean bathrooms. Well, we only have 2 people, Mr. Anthony and Mr. Matt, who are here during the day to keep this entire building clear. And when they are getting called to bathrooms constantly because there's big messes in there, that's taking away from being able to keep the rest of the building clear. So please do your part of being a young adult, throwing your trash away, doing what you're supposed to in there, going to the bathroom only when you really need to go to the bathroom. No one should be hanging out in there. Once again, I hope this shouldn't be an issue for many of you, but just a reminder. This is something that I think every grade needs to get a reminder about. Back to what I said about your family wanting you to be safe here. They also want to know where you're at, especially maybe they come and pick you up for an appointment. We are starting to have some students who are in the wrong place when they're not in their scheduled class. All of you have 8 classes and like a release time that you're supposed to be in. It's really important for you to be where you're supposed to be, especially as we get to the end of the semester where maybe you're getting done with some work. Just because you're finished with an assignment in a class does not mean that you do not need to go to that class. Just because you are having a bad day doesn't mean that you cannot go to your next class. Just because there's a guest teacher in there doesn't mean that you can't go to that class. Please do not put your teachers in a bad spot by asking, Ms. Nahanovich, can I just stay in here for 4th period rather than go to econ? I'm already done in my econ class. Because Ms. Downey wants you to be in econ class. She's responsible for you during that time. And Ms. Nahanovich has her own class that she's teaching during that time. She doesn't need you in there. But your teachers also want to be nice people, so please don't put them in a bad spot where they're having to say, no, you need to be in your class. You all are responsible enough to know that yourself. Okay? So please be where you're supposed to be. If there really is an issue that you can't go to some class, talk to me, Ms. Firehelm, anybody with a radio. We'll figure out what we can do to help you. This is something new. Hopefully it won't apply to many of you, but we want you all to be good representatives of North. And that goes double when we have activities. Okay, especially when you are representing North, like we have a game at East tonight. If you are going to that game, we want you to be, we want to be able to show, hey, these are our North students who are cheering for our team, not causing any issues. So what that means is if you do get suspended for any reason, for 1 month, you will not be allowed to attend an activity. Okay, that goes for basketball, soccer, track, the play, whatever. You cannot attend for 1 month. If you get into something at that activity, so let's say you go to the East game tonight, Dr. Williamson and I will be there, and you get into some sort of scuffle with somebody else, you are out for a year. You're not going to any activities for a year. That is because we need you all to represent North well. I hope this isn't an issue for anybody, but we just wanted to give you that reminder. I think we're doing a lot better at our hallway expectations, but just as a reminder, go where you're supposed to go. Please be quiet in the hallway. Our doors are thin, like it's easy to hear what's going on in the hallway. So just make sure that you are doing your part to keep our learning environment the way it should be. Play fighting was a bigger issue at the beginning of the year. I think we are getting better at this. It used to be in the commons over kind of by where the microwave is during lunch. Pretty much during passing, every time you would see a couple of people just kind of like jacking around with one another. We can't have that, because all it takes is one person to slip and accidentally hit somebody, or to just be like, man, I'm having a bad day, I'm not letting you mess around with me. All it takes is one of those things, and then we have a big fight going on. So if you are play fighting, you get sent home for the rest of the day. It could be an additional day depending on what time of the day that it happens. Like I said, I think we've gotten better at that, but we just wanted to give you a reminder of this. And the last piece is like, you all are friends and you know what you can do with each other and be cool with it. I do not know. I'm a 44-year-old guy who's been out of high school for a long time. I do not know who's friends with who and who's messing with who. So it's difficult for me to make those decisions. So that's why we kind of draw the line of, we're just not going to do that. You all are doing a great job of listening. We're almost through this. Please keep that attention up. Thank you so much for this. To our cafeteria, just like our bathrooms, please do everything that you can to keep our areas clean and safe. Like I said, we only have a very few people here that are responsible for keeping our building clean and safe. Every little bit that you can do, whether that's just throwing your napkins away, putting your tray up, letting somebody know if there's a spill. We know that, like accidents happen, but just let somebody know that it's going on. No one's going to get in trouble for that. Do the best that you can to make North the best place it can possibly be. And then with breakfast, we serve breakfast 7:45 to 8:15. After that, it goes to our walk-up line there. The real issue is this, like 8:55, and I think that's actually supposed to go to 9:05 because that's when period 2 starts. You need to be in line at that time. What we have been having is some people get here at the regular time, but they don't get breakfast. And they kind of just lollygag around, and then they wait till the very end to go get their breakfast, and then wait for another 15 minutes or so to actually eat that breakfast. And so they're missing almost all of period 2 because they didn't get their breakfast when they were supposed to get. So there's a theme here of, we need you to be in class learning when you're here. We want you to eat, but we need you to do it the right way at the right time. This was new at the start of this year, but it is not a change. I think it's been going pretty well. After fifth period, or at the beginning of fifth period, after lunch, at 12:10, we lock the front door. So that's 7 minutes after period 5 starts. If you get to school or back to school at 12:11 or after, you're going to have to just wait out in that like glassed-in area. Or if you have a car, you can wait in your car. But we're just not letting people into the building until 6th period starts. The reason why is because we need some urgency about when we get back from class. And back to that example is, we don't need people just going in and out of the building all the time and walking into econ 20 minutes late and bringing their food with them. If you want to go out to lunch, that's great. Just make sure you're back in time, and then we'll get you to class. Questions at the end. Thank you for doing a great job of supporting our office staff. Miss Wright, who is normally at the big front desk there, is gone for a little bit, so we have some extra support in there. So they're going to need some time to get to know all of you and what they're supposed to be doing. And so please do your part of just being kind and patient with them. This was new this year, but is not something new for second semester. Reminder that we need you in class in time. We've actually done a way better job with our T2s and T3s. We're down like 8,000 from last year. However, we still have an issue. And so if you are more than 5 minutes late to class, which means you've used your 5-minute passing and another 5 minutes, and you're still not in class, you have to come down to the welcome desk and get a pass in order to go back to class. If that happens twice in a day, so let's say it happens 2nd period, and then it happens again 6th period, you are going to get sent to Ms. Firehelm or myself or Dr. Williamson or Mr. Shipper, and we're going to call home and say, hey, we've had some chances to get to where we're supposed to be, and we're just not doing it today, so we're going to come back to school tomorrow. Okay? We want you here, but we need you to be in class if you are here. At the end of the day, we've just been noticing, especially when it gets cold, people start hanging out in the building a little bit longer. School ends at 3:15. By 3:25, you need to be in one or two places, either out front, have left the building, or if you're with an adult, like you're at homework help on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you're in an activity, you should be with those people. Okay? What we can't have is people just hanging out in random areas of the building, because I don't know if you're going to be safe. I don't know if someone's going to mess with you. We just can't let that happen. Okay? So you have 10 minutes to figure that out and get to a secure location. After that, we're going to say you have to be up front. If you know that you don't get picked up till 4:30 every day, join an activity. Join track. Join soccer. Join speech. Whatever. We would love to have you join an activity, especially if you know you can't get picked up until later. Okay? So we're just going to continue to remind you of where you're supposed to be by 3:25. This is something that's new. Once again, I hope that this will not be a big issue for our 12th graders. This will probably be a bigger issue for our 9th and 10th graders. But we are starting after school detention semester 2. Okay? So this does not apply for this next week, but starting semester 2, if you have 3 or more tardies in a day, so that means you are a minute late to class and you are tardy, you are going to be assigned a 45-minute detention on Tuesday or Thursday in the library with an associate principal. What we are going to do is every day we'll run a report. So I'm looking at JJ Moo. Yes, JJ, this is something you need to think about, my man. Because if you get 3 or more tardies, we are going to put your name on a list. You will have a 45-minute detention after school. We would love for you to do classwork during that time, but if you just want to sit there, that's fine too. The expectation is you're just sitting there quietly. You could read if you want. But you get one of those every day you have 3 or more tardies. If you decide, I'm not going to serve that, we will give you 1 week to do it. So let's say you get a detention on Monday. You will have Tuesday and Thursday to serve it. If you do not, then on Friday, myself or Ms. Firehelm will let your family know, hey, Boston had a detention to serve. He didn't serve it. He's going to be suspended Monday from first to fourth period. It's a half-day suspension, so you would come after lunch. If you are worried that this might apply to you, look at your attendance. If you have 3 or more tardies on a given day, we need to do better about getting to where we're supposed to be. If this is going to be like a big issue for you, like I know that there are some of you in here that like get a lot of tardies. We have 500 tardies every single day. If this is going to be an issue, talk with Ms. Firehelm and I, talk with your counselor. We'll come up with a plan of how we can make sure that you are getting to where you're supposed to be. We don't want to do detentions with you. Like, that is not the fun way that I end my day is, I get to sit with 40 students in the library who don't want to be there for 45 minutes. I got a lot of stuff to do. So I would love to not have a detention, but I also need you all to be where you're supposed to be. Okay? Questions at the end. So this is, as a reminder, this is like any tardy that you have. 1 minute to 5 minutes. The getting sent home for the day, that's if you're more than 5 minutes late to a class. Right? Probably next week, what we are going to do, we won't actually assign detentions next week, but we will run a report that said, okay, these are the amount of people that had 3 or more tardies on Monday. And we'll put that list up on the Polar Bear so that you can start to see, oh shoot, I would have had a detention for yesterday. And then we'll do it again on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, just so you get an idea of here's here's how my lateness might start to affect me. All right, Ms. Beatty is not here today, but she wanted me to remind you about Silver Cord Hours. She would love for you to have volunteer opportunities and get involved so that you get a silver cord when you graduate in May. Ms. Beatty's office is right down the black hallway, about halfway down on the left-hand side. She also would love to help you if you need clothing. She runs our clothing closet. She runs our food pantry. If you need any of that support or your family needs it, please talk to her. She gets joy out of doing that. So it's not a burden to ask her about those things. We know that sometimes that might be hard to do, but she wants to help you and your family with that, okay? We have 1 week of this semester left. What time is it?
It is 10:31.
Okay, all right. We have 1 week of this semester left. All of you, regardless of how you did your first 3 years, need to pass English 4. You need to pass econ. You need to pass government. Do your part. It might be too late for you we only have a week left. It might be too late. You might have to recover those classes semester 2. My hope and dream for every single one of you that's in here is that you are graduating in May. If you can't do May, then I really hope you do July. If you can't do July, then we'll come up with another plan. But you all have to do your part to fill that role. I know that your dream, most likely, your family's dream, most likely, is for you to cross the stage at the Knapp Center. In order for you to do that, you got to put in the work. Okay? Right on, Memphis. Okay, we have about 4 minutes. We are just going to stay in here. Okay? Got about 4 minutes till the bell rings. We're just going to stay in here.